are lost. Does that ring a bell to any of you? Anyone who's read Lord of the Rings? All right, we have quite a few of you. This speaks about the journey of lost Aragorn. But he wasn't merely talking about us. Apologies. He wasn't just talking about travelers or Aragorn himself. He was talking about us. Those moments of life when it doesn't follow a straight line, when we stop, we question, we start again, and wonder if we're falling behind. In The Lord of the Rings, Aragorn looked like a wanderer. No crown, no throne, just a man walking through the wild lands. But he wasn't just lost, he was emerging. Maybe that's true for you too. Maybe you changed your subjects, maybe you quit a job that didn't feel right for you, and maybe you're still figuring out who you are. The world demands us to have a plan, a timeline, a destination. But in reality, wandering is not in the opposite of direction. Wandering is bravery. Wandering is the beginning of discovery. It's all right to wander, because the people who wander, they are the ones who see more, learn more, and become more. Now, let me ask you something. How many of you are absolutely certain that you can describe what you ate for dinner yesterday? Anyone? All right. So, some of you here can say it. Chances are a few of you are unsure. And even if you're confident, you might be wrong. Our brain regularly mixes up details, fills gaps, or even creates memories that actually didn't even happen. A flaw? No, it is a feature. In reality, memory is reconstructive. Memory is something like a jigsaw puzzle. When you try to recall something, it tries to piece it together, but sometimes it gets it wrong. This could be because someone else suggested that it is something else and not what you actually did. And a more fascinating thing is what I call the Mandela effect. I want you to divert your attention to the screen here. So, as you can see, this here is Pikachu. Some of your childhood favorites, isn't it? So, how many of you can tell me which one of them is the correct one? Is it A or B? It's actually B. It's not the Pikachu with the black tail. I got you there, isn't it? This is an example of Mandela effect. Now, another one for you. This is our all-time favorite, George the monkey. Which one of them is actually the correct one? Is it A or B? Well, it's A. Most of us get it wrong. And this is the Mandela effect in play. You think you remember something correctly, but you remember it a different way, or something that's wrong. But guess what? Memory errors foster creativity. Studies have shown that when you piece together unrelated experiences together, it can generate novel associations, which could be major breakthroughs. And what this is saying is that this very process that allows memory distortions is the very process that embodies creativity and helps innovative idea generation. Memory errors also contribute to emotional intelligence or emotional adaptation. Neuroscientists describe this process as adaptive forgettiveness. So what this does is the rather pain memories or rather emotionally charged memories, they lose intensity gradually over time. So to tell you this, I'll narrate you a small story of what felt like the most perfect, teenage friendship. Yes, my friends and I, we thought we were inseparable. We thought we had shared all secrets, laughter, dreams. But misunderstandings piled up, words were said, and we all just drifted away. At first, the memories stung. Every corner of the school felt like a reminder. The empty canteen tables, to the WhatsApp chats that went silent. Well, after a few months, something happened. Something very interesting happened. I could not remember what the argument was about, how the argument started, but what I remembered was the warmth, the laughter, the inside jokes, and most importantly, the feeling of belonging. And that there is adaptive forgetting. Maybe forgetting isn't failure like most of you think it is. Maybe it's healing. So those of you who have diagnosed yourself with short-term memory loss, you're not all bad. Now, attention. Did you know that as you are seated in this very hall, your neural connections are being cut off? Yes. Not in ones, twos, or threes, in millions. The neurons that power your brain are being removed. Adolescence is a time of turbulence marked by rapid emotional change, social change, and cognitive change. Underlying all of this is a neurological process known as synaptic pruning. What this basically does is it cuts off the unused synapses while it preserves and strengthens the most frequently used synapses. At its face, it may sound like it's a loss of ability, but in reality, it helps you advocate with moral reasoning and helps you improve your understanding of the world. Simply, it helps you become an adult. I mean, you might be moving away from your silly little questions like, why is the sky blue? That comes from daydreaming. Or you might be laughing about how the shadow is following you, and you might all be scared when you were small, but now you might not be scared. And at first glance, daydreaming may sound like a trivial pastime, or perhaps even a distraction. However, modern neuroscience suggests that when the mind drifts, it helps us to function our brain more efficiently and helps us improve how we project ourselves into the future and how we create who we are. It is discovered that when the brain is not focusing on a specific external task, it activates what is called the default mode network. This is a region of the brain which is responsible for the internally directed thought, like recalling memories and scenarios. Just like how Albert Einstein's theory of relativity came into existence because of his simple daydream in class. So what this is saying is the brain's default is to daydream. Mind wandering also provides space for self-reflection, helping individuals like you and I to make sense of who we are. And this is something important for all of us. It helps us to reflect on past events and hypothetical situations where we can plan ourselves ahead for the future. And I'd like to go back to the beginning. Not all those who wander are lost, by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, imagine this. A soldier lies in a battlefield. He is in agony, in excruciating pain, but the doctor has run out of morphine. Desperate, the doctor fills the syringe in with some salt water and injects it inside and says, "Don't worry, this will ease your pain." And to his surprise, the soldier manages a weak smile, his breathing calms, and his pain eases. This is the placebo effect. This was Dr. Henry Beecher, an army anesthesiologist during World War II. Now, you might think, how does salt water substitute for morphine? Well, there you have it. This is the placebo effect. This is when the brain is fooled into thinking that we are treated. And then somehow it works and we feel all right. At first glance, this may seem like a mistake. The body is responding to a pill that basically has nothing at all. Neuroscientists have discovered that when our brain thinks that we are being treated, the brain releases chemicals like dopamine and endorphins into our body. This helps to relieve pain and lifts our mood. And this seems like our brain has its own prescription with its own pharmacy. Isn't it fascinating? Now, our brains are wonderfully imperfect. Memory errors teach us to think creatively. Mind wandering sparks imagination and helps future planning. The placebo effect contributes to the idea that belief itself is healing. Synaptic pruning, it lets us understand that letting go allows us to foster efficiency of our brain. Each of these mistakes is a feature, proof that what seems like a wrong turn is not always wrong. It leads us to innovation. From today forth, let us embrace our mistakes. Not every mistake is a misstep. Sometimes it's the path to discovery. Thank you.